Welcome back, guys. How you doing? Happy Friday. Good to see everybody here. I was watching what some of you were putting in the chat. Hannah, happy Pi Day. That's good. 3.1416. Da, 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 da. Yep. And I have my daughters in sixth grade and they just started getting into some of that. So I don't know. I just thought that was very astute observation. Welcome back, guys. Good to see you. You made it through five to day five. Pat yourself on back. No, seriously. I mean, I know you might think it's not a big deal, but it is to be able to prioritize something that you really want consistently for 5 days in a row. Like, not a lot of people do that. They don't. And so I'm celebrating for you guys who are here and who have been here for so much of this, watching the recordings when you can't, diving into the trainings. Well done. Okay. So I'm excited to talk to so many of you who have booked calls. Oh my goodness. And I just saw a few of you, Jill, Tatiana, Sharita, just got on my calendar just in the last, just this afternoon. Can't wait to talk to you guys. Excited. So how you guys feeling? How you guys feeling? I know there's like a lot of information coming your way, a lot of new awarenesses. I would love it if you guys would celebrate in the chat your biggest new awareness so far. I know there might be so many, but just pick one. What is your biggest aha so far? Let's celebrate these new awarenesses. So like we in this tribe are big on celebration because if you're not celebrating your new ahas and and the things that are working, like how are you going to know what to continue to repeat to get what you want? So type in the chat. What are your biggest ahas, your biggest new awarenesses? Let's see. I'm reading what you got. Relaxing the jaw, implode. I don't like my voice. I know that helps. Jack, I'm not sure that helps. That sounds to me like some stinking thinking going on. Julia, breath support. Yeah, but so much around the breath support, right, Julia? Like, what's your biggest aha in there? Put in the chat. You guys are big on the implode. Yes. Opposition, Jill, anchor sail. The more I know, I don't know. Yes, you guys, it's okay to be like, I don't know what I don't know. Be willing to empty your cup and fill it with new things. Love it. I'm so sorry, Jusen, that you had a loss in your family, but you know what? Celebrating you for showing up anyway. Like that's a very real circumstance, and you have, been completely justified to not come. So celebrating you for showing up despite that. So sorry. Sharita singing into the lean. Robert, anchor and sail. Yeah, you guys, opposition, opposition, breaking old habits. True that. All right, guys. So when we're in the between, right? Where we now have awareness of what the old habits are and the awareness of what isn't serving. And we also have the awareness of what the new habit is, but it's so new, it may not be what we do all the time. Now we're talking about conditioning, right? Conditioning is how we create muscle memory. So you guys, we have 2 more days and I'm still going to be giving you lots more really great stuff today, tomorrow, and Sunday, 3 days. But continue to condition these new things. It's the muscle memory that matters so that you can, move into this higher level of performance, of impact, of standing out from the competition. So don't just get the information and then sit on it, condition it daily. Okay, so how great was yesterday, by the way? How great was hearing from Colleen? You guys, if you had seen Colleen 3 months ago and Colleen today, it's like, I talk about like owning your stage, owning what you want, right? It's like, that's what we're doing here. So happy that she was available to come and share with you guys. Who did your meditation today? Tell me in the chat. Me. Who did the meditation? Let's celebrate. Who did it? Anna did it. Julie did it. Jill did it. Jennifer. Jennifer knows what to do. Jennifer's worked with me. Arista, good. Alicia, I did a little. Okay, a little meditation better than no meditation. Dolores, good. Yusan, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Good. Who is 5 for 5? Put 5 in the chat if you're 5 for 5. Own it. Claim it. Who's 5 for 5 on your meditation? Jennifer, Hannah. Nice. Jill. You guys noticing the same names coming up over and over again? And there is no blame and shame here. However, ask yourself, Why am I not being accountable to this practice? Why am I getting stuck in the weeds of my calendar and just get some data so that, because you guys, like the transformation is in the specific. So get specific. Why am I not showing up to this? What am I making that mean? What is important to me? What is not important? What is my priority? Why am I not prioritizing being able to shift and get new tools and blaze into a new efficiency and a new impact with my instrument? If that's what I say I want, why am I not showing up to this? And again, it's from curiosity, not blame and shame. Because the minute you get curious and you figure that out, then I promise you, you will start showing up. Okay. All right. We have a lot to get to today. Keep doing your meditation daily. Again, conditioning that muscle of coming back to the present moment of your body, witnessing the mind in the present moment. A reminder of some housekeeping, train first, then answer questions. So if we have time for questions, I will answer in the chat. Also, I will answer live if we have time. Otherwise, that's what our implementation breakthrough session on Sunday is. Like, ask me all the questions that we didn't get to. Happy to coach and do eyes and ears on as well. Reminder to uphold our value that this is the safe space. What you hear here, how you play here, what you get to experiment here, it stays here. And there's no cure of criticism, no meanness, no judgment in the chat. Okay, please uphold that value. What's the last thing I want to tell you? Oh, original sound. If you want to get up and coach live, just make sure you have your original sound switched to on. Okay, let's get to work. So today I want to give you guys my secret weapon. And my secret weapon is all about bringing forth your sound, your uniqueness. And how we do that is helping to connect you to your song. Because oftentimes we don't really think about how what we're singing relates to us and how we bring our own essence to what we're singing. And one of the things that I hear a lot from otherwise like super talented singers is that they don't understand why they keep getting passed over for the things that they're going out for. Like, you're doing everything that you know how to do, but the gigs, the auditions, the big opportunities that you want keep going to other singers. And you're like, what have they got that I don't? What do they know that I don't? What are they doing that I'm not? Do any of you feel that way? Let me see who's in the chat. Put me if you feel that way. Do any of you feel like you're just like, you're doing everything you know how to do, but you're just like, why am I not breaking through here? Yeah, Hannah, I totally feel you. And so, it's that feeling of, you put your time and your energy and your money into like releasing an EP, and you've given your all to it, and it gets like 10,000 plays, like nobody's listening to it. And you guys might think 10,000 plays is a lot, but like, it's not when you consider how many people are in the world, and some of those people are probably listening more, right? So it's probably 100 people listening, a bunch of times. And I say this like not to be mean, but like, again, these are the excuses we tell ourselves. Well, 10,000 plays is better than nothing. Yeah, but it ain't going to get you a record deal. It ain't going to make you any money. It ain't going to book you fans on a tour, right? So, but that's heartache. That's heartache because you're doing everything you know how to do, and you're putting it out there and it's not landing because we're not getting you through that recording. Same thing in auditions. Those of you who go to auditions and either you don't even get past the self-tape round, or you do, you get into the callback, but you don't get the gig, or you're stuffed in the ensemble again for the 24th time instead of in the role that you really wanted. And you're looking at somebody else up there rehearsing that lead instead of you. And that's heartache. But the reason that they're up there and you're not is because your special sauce is not coming through in that audition. Your special sauce is not coming through in that recording. And one of the reasons that you're not standing out and your uniqueness is not coming through is because you don't know how to tap into your unique emotional home. And through that vulnerability and let that show through the performance. And maybe you just end up being like a really good parrot of somebody else's performance, of somebody else's sound, and you may realize it, or you may even not. right? So today, I'm going to give you one of my favorite step-by-step tools for accessing your authentic emotional home, your authentic emotional connection to yourself through your song, and the process for really making that your own. So first, I would like you guys to think of a song that you sing, that you know really well, that you've sung many, many times, that you have memorized. And a song that's not long, not like a 7-minute Bohemian Rhapsody today, okay? Just something that you perform a lot, that you know really well. And I want you to write that song down at the top of the paper, okay? And I'm going to take you through this process. And I want all of you to just, write. I'm going to give you some prompts, okay? So first I want you to imagine, just treat your song as like it was a monologue. Some of you may have heard that idea before, right? So I just want you to think about the words, not in the context of the rhythm or the melody, but just as words that are telling a story for a second, without tempo, and notice how the words speak to you and what they mean. And when you're thinking about that, I want you to start to create what I call a movie in your mind. The movie in your mind. So if this were a movie, well, and you were saying these words, not even singing, not singing, you were just expressing these words, this sentiment. Where are you? And who are you singing to? Where are you? Or not singing? We're not singing yet. We're just talking. Where are you and who are you talking to? Number one, because if you're going to connect to your emotional home around this, you got to understand what's at stake here. So for example, if you were, I don't know, I need a song, I'm blank. This song keeps coming up in my head, Music Man, If I Were a Bell. So in Music Man, if those of you who know If I Were a Bell, ask me how do I feel, ask me now that we're cozy and clinging. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. Okay. And in the actual show, she's drunk and she's Little Miss Pure, Little Miss, I don't get drunk, I don't kiss boys, I don't do anything. She's, and she's now drunk and she's now on a date. Two things that she's never been done before. And she's completely attracted to this guy who she said she would never, be with. But all her true feelings are coming out. So if your song is from a musical and you know the circumstances around it, great. If you don't, or if your song is a pop song or, a song that you've written, right? I want you to create the movie in your mind. So I'm trying to think of a pop song, you guys, and all that's in my head is Music Man. A pop song. Okay, I don't know why this just came into my head. Kelly Clarkson. Here's the thing, started off friends, da da da, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah, since you've been gone. Okay, so if this is your pop song, right? You need to create the scenario, the movie in your mind. Who's she talking to? Oh, well, she's talking to the dude who took off. And where is she? Did she run into him? Did he seek her out? What are the circumstances? Okay, how do you feel about the person or the thing that you are singing about? That's the next question. So once you've identified the who and the where, now how do you feel about this person or thing? So in the Music Man example, oh, she's just a smitten kitten. And she's a little scared because she's never really felt like this before or had an interaction like this before. So she feels excited, smitten, a little scared. If you're Kelly Clarkson, you're pissed. You do not like this person. He broke your heart. He left you. And maybe you have some regret that you never got to tell him that. And again, there's no right answer, guys. No right answer. It's your way of connecting. However you answer these questions or the way that you're starting to connect to this, okay? Now, most important question that comes next. Why? Why must you or your character sing this particular song and these particular words right now? You need a reason to open up your mouth and say, If I were a bell, I'd be ringing, right? Like, why does she say, ask me, how do I feel? And why does she say it out loud? And why does she say it to him right now in this moment? Same thing in the Kelly Clarkson example. She says, here's the thing. We started off friends. It was fun, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah, since you've been gone. So why does she say that to him right now? Like, you need a reason. So maybe, and again, you just need to come up with what feels interesting and important in that moment that compels you to say, here's the thing. We start. So maybe she runs into him somewhere, wherever, the mall, the restaurant, doesn't matter. And he comes up to her and he sees her and he doesn't even like miss a beat. And he's trying to like get back with her, maybe. And she's like, here's the thing. We started off friends. It was all pretend. Yeah, yeah, but then you left since you've been gone. You know, I never hear you say that. I forget the words right now. Da, 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 me with you, whatever. But like in that moment, right before I start to sing, if I'm performing that song, I'm playing that movie in my mind. And I'm seeing this dude walk up to me who broke my heart, who left, and who's now trying to get back and trying to flirt. And I'm like, here's the thing. We started off friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah, since you've been gone. And that has like a lot. I'm way more connected to that than if I just started to sing without connecting to myself in that story. Now, here's the most important part of all of this. You've created this movie in your mind. You're connecting to the scenario, whether it's one you're creating or one that you are tapping into that's been created for you by a musical, a show that the song is in. Either way, if you've never been in that actual circumstance before, if you've never been like Little Miss Perfect, who all of a sudden gets drunk and is flirty on a date where that's just like not what she'd ever do. It's not her identity. Like if you've never been in that situation where you just threw caution to the wind, right? Or if you've never been in a situation where the person is trying to get back with you who broke your heart, how are you connecting to this then? Because at the end of the day, then it's all just show and tell. And there's no actual emotional vulnerability connection going on. And without that, there is no impact, zero. And remember, we talked about on the first day, impact is your only job as a singer, as a professional singer, especially impact equals income. Okay. So you tired of watching other people get the call back, get the lead? You tired of putting out records that hardly anybody listens to, that people, because you guys, 10,000 plays, I'm sorry, people are not forwarding that song. They're not listening to it over and over and over again. They're not telling their friends about it. That's how you get to 100,000 plays. You can do that without any marketing. So if that stuff is not happening, then that tells you that your emotional connection is not there, that impact is not there, okay? So we need to create a connection to make sure that that emotional home that's being conveyed in the words is also something that you connect to personally yourself, even if you've never been in that situation. And the way that we do that is with the idea of subtext. So you guys may remember or understand what subtext is, but in the context of this conversation, if I'm looking at the words and let's use the musical theater, I said Music Man, it's Guys and Dolls. Somebody probably caught that and said it in the chat. Did you guys catch that? It's Guys and Dolls. It's not Music Man. Let's talk about the Guys and Dolls in this context. Ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're cozy and clinging. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. So you don't ever have to be in that actual situation of being drunk and flirty and out of your comfort zone with a boy. But if you've never been in that situation, if you have, great, use it. If you've never been in that situation, then we're going to identify what is the overarching emotional state of this character right now. And what it is, and I'm just going to, for this example, say, okay, in this case, she's got like butterflies and she's all floaty and she's all tingly and she's all excited because she's getting to do something she's never done before. So in my head, I'm going to go create my own subtext around something that I've experienced in my life that has made me feel butterflies and tingly and all excited with expectation because I'm about to do something I've never done before. So maybe for me, that is like the feeling of like waiting in line for a roller coaster on a thrill ride. Maybe it's when I get that call, when I got that call that tells me that I'm doing the lead in this opera for the very first time in my career when I was 22. That, ooh, tingly excitement, a little scared, but fun, and ooh, I can't wait. It elicits the exact same emotional home. So if I've never been drunk and on a date and in this situation before, that's okay. Because what I'm tapping into is the subtext of, ooh, when I got that phone call, it made me feel like I was a bell. I just wanted to ring. Like, ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're cozy and clinging. I'm just thinking about getting that phone call when the phone was ringing, right? Even though I'm going to sing the lyrics of, if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. What I'm really thinking about is how it felt when I got that phone call. Okay. So this is the bridge, guys, for how you start to connect your own experience, your own uniqueness, your own emotional vulnerability to your song. So it's right there, right below the surface for you. Okay. So I would love to have some guinea pigs to play with some of their songs. I'm losing being able to see you guys' hands. Hold on, let me put that up. Okay. All right. First hand I saw was Sharita. Come on camera. Hey,
Hi,
welcome. How are you?
getting you.
Good. Okay, so let's what's the song? What do you want to play with?
So I'm just gonna sing a few of the lines because it's a choir song and people got it yesterday. So, and there's a lot of repeating words. So I'll just sing a few lines and the part that I'm having trouble with.
Well, so what I actually really want you to do, and we'll get to that part, but I actually want you to start the song from the top because I want you to play with this idea of the movie in your mind, of the connection and where this character starts. Because you guys, a song is a it's emotional, an emotional arc. Most songs do not end in the same energy or emotional state that they began. And so when you're talking about like the section that gives you, that's tricky for you, that gives you a little bit of trouble, right? If we
Right.
can identify where we're starting, where we want to go, then we can use this. That's going to actually help your technique, trust me, when you get to the section that might be a little bit sticky for you. Okay.
Okay.
So tell us, actually, let's just dive in and then we'll talk about like the emotional home stuff. Okay. Let's just sing it first.
Um, so he will never fail you. Just believe what he said is true. He will never fail you. Just believe what he said is true. He'll hear you when you call.
Okay, hold on. I want to stop you because I totally appreciate that you're thinking about your support, you're thinking about sirening, and you guys, when we're going to performance, right? Because that's what we're talking about now, storytelling, connection, performance, making a song your own, right? It's about trust. So I know you've only had a few days in some of these new tools. They will show up for you at the level that they've been conditioned right now, and that's okay. I want you to like allow for the fact that the technique is going to be what the technique is going to be. And I want you to go to story. I want you to go to story. So who are you talking to?
Talking to my fellow church members and
Okay.
fellow anybody that's willing to listen.
Okay. And how do you feel about what you're saying about he will never fail you? What is your opinion on this?
I feel good when I think about the words "He will never fail me" because I
Okay.
believe the words that "He will never fail me," and
Okay.
I do feel good about the words.
Okay.
It, it makes me happy that He will never fail me.
Okay. So in this moment, in this movie in your mind, you are in church, you are surrounded by people in the community, in the congregation. Why must you sing these words, He will never fail you, right now? And your answer can't be because the pastor told me that's what I'm going to sing. Okay.
Um, because I received these words and I witnessed them, so I guess I would be trying to convince my fellow members that the same, like, hey, he will never fail me.
Okay.
That is
Okay. Good. Now I want to create a little bit of some higher stakes here. Because those stakes are like, okay, but really, what's really at stake there? Maybe somebody will connect with you, maybe they won't. I don't know, right? So let's make it a little more personal. Is there somebody in your life that you can think of who is going through something right now who really needs to hear this?
yeah.
Okay. So let's take it out of church for a second.
Okay.
Let's imagine the movie in your mind that this person comes up to you and you can tell that they're suffering, that they're hurting. What could they have possibly said to you? Or what could you have possibly maybe seen them do or say that makes you feel like they need this message, that makes you want to respond with, hey, he will never fail you? What could that be? It could be something that maybe they actually did say to you, or it could be something that maybe you're going to, in the movie in your mind, imagine that they said that compels you to respond this way.
That if if they hold on to these words, probably because like maybe if they're like in desperate need of help and if they don't get this help, they're probably gonna fall into deep depression.
Uh-huh. Or worse, right? Maybe they'll lose faith entirely.
Yeah.
You see how that's even another level of what's at stake, right? So you guys remember, I've said this in the workshop a few times around different things. Transformation happens in the specific. Do you see how we're getting real specific here, right? So like what would happen if this person said to you, you know what, Sharita, like I have tried and whatever the issue is that they're having that's making them suffer so much. And they're like, I don't, God doesn't exist anymore. I can't. It hasn't shown up for me. I'm still suffering, whatever it is. My wife is still leaving me, or I'm still dealing with the cancer, or whatever it is. There's no miracle here. There's no miracle here. And I don't think I believe anymore. Like, what would you, because I can tell that if these words matter to you, now there's something at stake, because if you don't say something, what might happen?
Hmm. That made it a lot more deeper.
Right. Right. So you guys, when we're talking about the movie in your mind of who you're talking to, why you're saying what you're saying, and why you need to say it right now. That's the key, you guys. Because if she doesn't have a really good reason for why she needs to say this right now, it's not going to connect, and we're not going to feel her emotional home in the same way. Okay. So don't worry about technique right now. Don't worry about it. Give yourself full permission to just, it's going to sound like whatever it sounds like. Your job right now is to be in the story and to save him from losing faith. That's your only job. Okay. So let's sing it.
He will never fail you. He will never fail you. Oh, I messed with words. I'm sorry. Start over.
It's okay.
He will fail you. Just believe it when he said it's true. Oh my gosh. Now I'm tanking.
What? What was that?
I said now I'm tanking.
What? Wait, why? Oh, hold on. What's the story that your mind is telling you that you're tanking? Because that's not what I saw out here.
I'm messing up the words. And I mean, you guys don't know I'm messing up the words, but I know I'm messing
I know, but here's what. If you're connected to what you're saying, we don't care. We don't even know. Maybe there's one person who knows the hymn here. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know it. Like, But you guys, you see, like she's telling herself a story that now shuts her down. When I was like, oh, where's she going with this? I was there. Okay. So like what I want you to do, Sharita, is between today and tomorrow, I want you to go home and in your own time, like find this story. And if it's not this story that we've created here that you're really connecting to, find one that does. Because even in the few phrases that you sang, who cares if you mess up the words? It doesn't matter. You were more connected to your body. You were more connected to your tone. And that's just going to increase when you allow yourself to live into this story. So I want you to, between today and tomorrow, live into this story through the whole song, journal out it. What is the movie in your mind? Connect to it, okay? And then sing it, okay? Okay, cool, good, thank you.
You.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's see, I'm looking at hands in the chat. All right, Yusan, I just saw Yusan. Hello.
Hello?
Celebrating you for not just being here, but just and being willing to experiment. You are in
Yes. Can
with
you hear
that.
me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can.
Yes. Good, good. Thank you
What do you
so much
want?
for that.
Of course. So what do you want to play with?
I want to play with a song called Money.
Okay.
The Motown song,
Huh?
Money.
Okay.
Um,
I'm going to invite you to stand up. Are you cool to stand and
oh,
sing?
yes, 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 yes. I'm sorry.
That's
Sorry, I
okay.
just got to put it up high.
Yeah, please do. Um, and you guys, the reason I'm asking him to stand is because I really want the entire energy of his body beneath him, also for his technique, but also just for his, being able to move energy. Okay. And so,
I'm so glad I wasn't naked.
and so even though the device is a little low, don't sing down to the device. Okay. Sing
Mm-hmm.
straight to your audience eye level. Okay. So let's just dive in with it and then we'll play.
Okay. The best things in life are free, but you can leave them for the birds and the bees. Now give me money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Let me tell you something else. Your loving gives me a thrill. But your loving can't pay my bills. Give me money. That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Good. Let's work through it. Awesome. Okay. So, quick question. I just want to know what kind of device are you on? You're on a computer, an iPad, an iPhone?
iPhone.
Okay, then we won't worry about the original sound. Don't worry. We're getting most of it. It's just
Oh,
that without that setting, it's a little on and off, but it's fine. We're getting the majority of it. Okay.
I got you.
So, first of all, what did that feel like to you? How was that experience? Did you feel connected or did you feel like you were showing and telling? What did you feel?
I felt like I was just making sure that I knew what I was my words.
Okay.
I felt like
You,
I was just making sure of that for the moment.
okay. So I'm going to tell you the energy that I was getting, the read that I got. It was entertaining. It was
Hmm.
fun. Okay. But the energy around it. So, guys, remember we talked about energetic direction, sound direction, the idea,
Yes.
technique, where we were talking about explode versus implode, right?
Hmm.
While you were on your support, and in the sense that you weren't flooding so much of your air, you were imploding that. But you guys, energetic direction also can manifest in, okay, so like it's the old adage, like grandma says, don't chase girls, don't chase boys. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And right now, Yusan, we are in show and tell mode. We're not in
Gotcha.
internal connection mode. And the way show and tell mode manifests is a lot of outwardly focused energy where you are chasing your audience instead of
Mm.
bringing your audience to you. And so the way
Okay.
that reads is even though you sound good and even though you're fun, it reads like, look at me, listen to me. It's all very outward. It's like the reason
Gotcha.
I liken it to dating and not chasing boys, chasing girls is because,
Yeah.
you know, it's so annoying when like there's that person who's chasing you and like texting you and calling you and you're like, stop, leave me alone. Like it's not cute. It's not cute.
Hmm.
Okay. Who do we usually want? Like we want that, badass in the corner, just owning his shit, sorry for the language, guys, just be, owning his energy, owning his space, and we're drawn to them. They're not coming
Hmm.
after us, right? And you guys,
Right.
audiences are the same way. Don't chase your audience. Bring your
Mm.
to you. Don't chase boys, don't chase girls. Bring them to you. Also, you guys, it's not this is going to help the technique also because it's like I was saying the other day, it's not your job to get the sound out, right? It's not explode, it's implode. So that's how it manifests in the technique, but also in the energy. It's like we're in show and tell mode. You're showing me how good you are. You're showing me how cute you are instead of being with the energy. Okay. So let's talk about this idea of movie in your mind. So, what are you connecting to in this song? Like, why is he singing this? Because the minute we can get you into that, you're going to be out of all of this show and tell, right?
Yes.
So, and that's the difference between ensemble and equity lead, between regional and Broadway. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So why is he saying this? What's
Because
at
my
stake?
partner's telling me I need to spend more time with them, but I have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
But I can't leave this job because it tells me that I need more hours, and they're telling me like I want more time with you.
Okay. And
And I'm saying, yeah,
are you, how do you feel about this partner? Do you really love them and really care about them? Or is this now making you annoyed with them and maybe this is not the right partner? Again, there's no right answer. How do you feel?
that I think that's the one. This is annoying because we always speak this language, and I'm like, I'm tired of saying it over and over again, but I'm going to just because I feel like you need to hear it again.
Okay. Okay. Now, when one of the uh things that what's the word I'm looking for? The objectives, it took me a second. When one of the objectives is to convince,
Hmm.
that can really uh prey on the show and tell because the
Gotcha.
chasing your audience because then everything starts to become right? So I want you to think about though, what is really powerful? Is it when so like I can use my daughter as an example. Her name is Wesley. Wesley, clean your room. If I see another pair of underwear on the floor instead of in that hamper, clean your room. Okay, that's blah, blah, blah. Versus Wesley Marion. Why is there a sock on the floor? Didn't we just talk about the hamper? Didn't we talk about chores? Right.
Yes, that means you meant business, and you
Right.
didn't have to scream or really be out there.
Right. You guys, it is more powerful because in the second example, I was owning my truth. I didn't have to scream it out, right? I was owning my truth. I was owning my energy because I knew I was in the truth. I knew I was in the right. And I was bringing her to me as opposed to blah, 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 me coming to you.
Hmm.
Bring the sound to you, bring the audience to you, bring the person that you are talking to in the song to you. Okay. So, can we try this again? And I
Hmm.
just want you to find one reason why you need to finally speak this truth right now. Like, what just happened? Like, what's the straw that broke the camel's back in your imagination?
I think the fact that this is like probably the 10th time that I was asked to leave. I was asked to give make more time
Mhm.
with
And so,
my
how do
partner.
you feel? Do you feel sad? Do you feel angry? Do you feel misunderstood? Do you feel frustrated? What is the emotional home?
I feel that we have some financial stuff, so they know that I need to do this.
But
And they
that's
know
not
that I don't have a
emotion.
lot of, huh?
That's a circumstance. I
Hmm.
want you to tap into the emotion. What is the feeling? What is the
Oh,
emotion that
oh,
that's
oh, okay.
making you feel?
I'm feeling a little annoyed by
Mhm.
it. I'm feeling like, wow. I'm feeling, wow. You keep asking me this, but the only answer I can give you is the same. There's nothing I can
Okay.
do right now.
So that reads as like mystified. Like, are we really having this conversation again? Like
Yeah.
a little, wow, mystified, perhaps. Um, let's take it a couple layers. Is it mystified like it takes you to the place of humor, like, are you kidding me? And laughing? Or is it mystified and it takes you to the place of disappointment, like, really? This person
I think
doesn't
I'm
know.
disappointed.
Okay. Okay. Because
Yeah.
that's different. We're
Yes,
now we're
that
going
does.
mystified towards disappointed towards, well, if this person doesn't get me, then maybe what does that mean for this?
Maybe you're not for me, or maybe we need to discuss
Right.
what's more than what this moment is.
Right. Now, you guys, now he's identified what's more that's at stake.
Mm,
Okay.
well, you helped.
So let's do the song again. And I want you to bring her to you,
Okay.
to tap into the disappointment, the sadness, and maybe even the fear of, wow, I might have to let this go. I'm going to try to explain it to you one more time, but I'm like, I don't even know if I'm already 1 foot out the door. I don't know.
Okay.
So let's try it again. Bring the audience to you.
The best things in life are free.
Don't go to her. Do you feel how much
Oh,
you want
don't
to go
don't
to her?
lean, don't lean. It's a move. Okay.
Right. But you guys, this comes back to like some deep mindset stuff, right? Which is like, let me ask you, Yusan, like if you had to say, what is the biggest thing that keeps convincing you that you need to prove something to us to go towards us? What could that be?
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, maybe it's because I've been told that I need to prove something all the time.
Okay. So it's just a lie that people have been telling you.
Hmm.
Monkey mind bought into.
And I feel like that's probably something that I have to do. That will beat out the rest is if I'm grand and I make sure that I'm seen.
Ah, yes. Okay. This is a limiting belief, a massive limiting belief that Yusan just exposed, got awareness around. And it's not that he doesn't intellectually understand what I'm asking him to do here. He fully
Hmm.
understood that I was asking him to bring her to you. But if that limiting belief is still running the show, he's going to do this, which is exactly what happened. Okay. So, talking about asking more powerful questions like we did yesterday, right? I'm going to give you one right now.
Hmm.
How would you do this if you had nothing to prove? How would you do this if the way that you get seen and heard is by standing your ground and owning your space instead of needing to prove that to somebody else?
Hmm.
No, let's do that experiment.
Okay. The best things in life are free, but you can leave them for the birds and the bees. Now give me money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Your loving gives me a thrill, but your loving can't pay my bills. Give me money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Nice. What did that feel like to you?
That felt, ooh, you are a master.
But you,
I felt that felt powerful to me.
it was,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
And you know what else?
yeah.
It was interesting.
Ah,
I have seen a bunch of other people do that song the first way you did it. I've seen that before. It was cute. It was entertaining. You sang it. It was fine. That's not going to get you past the callback. But what you just did, that's interesting. And
wow,
that is what you guys, that's what we're talking about because we went through the exercise, which really connected him to his experience with what the lyrics are, to his emotions around it, to what was feeling for him. And that's what came through. And now we got something totally interesting that we have not seen before. Okay.
wow,
Well done.
wow, wow.
You guys get
Thank
it.
you.
You're welcome. Give him a hand. That's awesome.
Wow, that was
You
awesome.
tell, you tell Nyla that I had fun with you just now, okay?
Yes, I will.
All right,
I
you guys.
sure will. Thank you.
So, so this is the power of being able to learn how to connect in a deeper way, in a different way, in something that is unique to you. Okay. And so, what I'm going to give you for the homework today is let me share my screen. Is is this document, which has the entire inquiry that we just went through, that you can take yourself through all of the questions and talking about subtext and ways to be able to connect to your emotional home, your unique experience around the songs that you're singing. So this will be in this is in the masterclass homework, masterclass workbook as your homework for today that you can download. So play around with it, you guys. Do not ignore this. And by the way, did you guys notice that his technique got better as he did it? Like he was more clear. He wasn't just blowing it out, you know? And it's not that the technique was awful bad before, but he just found a connection in that energy, in the energy of bring the audience to you that also was bring the sound to you. So he wasn't so you know? So okay, so that's homework for tomorrow or between today and tomorrow. Okay, so you guys, I have another special guest today that I want you to meet. Who, if you were in one of our workshops, maybe in the end of summer, early fall, I don't remember, you might have met her, but I wanted to have her come back because in the 5 months since then, she has like and so and she can really share better than anyone her experience of what it's been like getting out of her own way, connecting to herself, connecting to her songs, connecting to what she wants, who she is, claiming full confidence, full trust in not just her voice, but in her journey and claiming the life that she wants from it. And she is an incredibly talented musical theater singer and classical singer. And she's just finished our intensive training program, just like, I don't know, a month or two ago. And she is one of the most resilient, dedicated singers I have ever worked with, who has unfortunately, like so many of you, had some traumatic experiences in her training, the ripples of which just were preventing her so badly from accessing her full potential and keeping her playing small. She was not landing the leading role she was going out for. And what's worse was that she was starting to believe that it wasn't possible for her. And in just a few months after finishing her training program, for the first time, number one, she's landed her dream role, Beth, in Little Women. She's doing that this summer in Europe. And she shared something really powerful in one of our last group mindset calls, which I'm going to share with you, and then I'll let her embellish. So we share wins. We do wins and celebrations at the beginning of every mindset call for all the reasons that I've been talking about. Okay. And she came in and her celebration was around something that we do called future thank yous. So future thank yous is a way of connecting to a target that you have a manifestation of something that you want, be it a certain performance, a win of an audition, or whatever it may be, and giving thanks for that as though it has already happened. So an example of a future thank you might be, you know, oh my God, I just got off stage from the final show of my world tour. My parents were there. My husband was there. Everybody, we were packed in Madison Square Garden, and I sang the best show that I have ever sang. And I walked off stage and everybody was going nuts. And okay, that hasn't happened yet. But if that's my goal, do you see how I was giving thanks for it, gratitude for it in all the juicy specifics as though it had already happened? So that's something that we teach our singers how to do in more detail. That's kind of a general explanation, but as a way of being in the energy that we need to be in to have what we want, so we don't get knocked around by the wobbles. And so Jessica, who you'll meet in a second, came into her last mindset call, and her celebration was that everything that she had future thank you'd at the beginning of the training program had come true. And that to me is such a testament to her commitment, her coachability, her resourcefulness to decide that this is the life and the goal and the dream that she has, and do whatever she needs to do to have it. So please welcome Jessica Zeller. Jessica.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so excited for you to be able to kind of share the things move the needle for you the most. But first of all, what was that like for you to be able to come into Mindset Call and be like, everything that I future thank you 4 months ago has come true?
It felt great. I never in a million years thought that I would be accomplishing everything that I had, and it's only gotten better. Like, I've had wins since the conclusion of my time in the intensive, and it just feels so good because, like, I believe that I'm worthy and capable, all those things that I was conditioning during the intensive, because the future thank yous of it have manifested into reality. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is definitely true. So it feels very, very fulfilling.
Awesome. Would you mind just like taking everybody back like a year or so and just sharing what was going on with your voice and your career at the time and how you were feeling?
Yeah, so I can take it back 5 years ago when I met Arden, 5 or 6 years ago, and I took Arden's advice about taking the time during quarantine to just work on my technique. I was singing 3 hours a day, like I was nose to the grindstone working on my voice. And I thought I made great progress, and I just didn't know what to do otherwise because the world was shut down. Like, we couldn't perform. The stages were dark. And at the end of 2020, I reached out to a professional singer that I had built a rapport with. And instead of getting career advice, she told me, I hate your voice. I hate the aria you chose to sing. You should never sing again. And you'll never be successful because of your disability anyway. And I shut down. I didn't sing for 3 months. I didn't listen to music for 3 months. And I picked myself up because I had a really encouraging encounter with one of my favorite Broadway singers, Christiane Knoll, who became my teacher after that. And we made great progress, but there was still something missing. And I had considered the intensive before, but we just knew, like, I didn't have the technical foundation to do the intensive. But now that I did, by this point, I was like, okay, now is the time to do the intensive. And I was hesitant because, yes, it's a lot of money, but it is so worth the investment because you spend thousands of dollars on lessons or auditions or performances already. And this is a gold mine of information that you won't get anywhere else. It is worth the investment. And I grew exponentially, and I learned so much about my voice, about myself, about what I wanted out of my singing career. And it's hard to grasp when you're not in it, or even when you're still in it, because you don't know what you're capable of, because Arden and her team will take you to new heights that you never imagined. And I'm so glad I did it.
So, like for you, because today we've been talking about, for example, connecting to ourselves, feeling that, for some people, it can feel difficult at times to do, right? And so we do a lot of work around our emotional home and how that shows up or doesn't show up when we're singing and how that affects us. And so all of the ways, like you said, that you had been shut down because of that awful experience before you came in to do this work, how was it affecting your voice? How was it affecting your singing, if you don't mind sharing with everybody?
I didn't have an emotional home. I studied vocal performance in college, but my teacher, in hindsight, didn't teach me what I should have been learning. So I didn't have an idea of what my strengths were, what my weaknesses were. So I didn't know what I was working with. So I didn't have an emotional home. I didn't have something to grab onto. I didn't know, okay, this is something that I do really, really well, and this is what I can come back to when I'm struggling. So I couldn't just say like, oh, well, I'm really good at doing X, Y, Z, even if I can't do this. And doing the intensive helped me find that. So I found that I was really good at just naturally emoting as long as I gave gave myself permission to do it, because the criticism that I received forced me to shut down, and I didn't believe all those positive things that I was conditioning in the intensive before then. And I couldn't give myself permission to make mistakes. And when I believed those nasty comments, that criticism, I didn't want to sing at all. So I couldn't even open my mouth to do anything. It was paralyzing.
And so fast forward, coming in to have a new experience and a different kind of training, because you'd had so much other kind of training. What would you say have been just the biggest the biggest things that like have moved the needle for you, either technically or to speak to like mindset or performance, right? That you had ahas about, that you hadn't ever either considered or hadn't been taught or hadn't engaged with before, that have now allowed you to have so many of these wins?
Really, it's all of the tools just comprehensively. The meditations. I meditated this morning. Who meditated?
You guys, like when I say it's a practice, like Jess is, it's a practice, but you get to realize how much better things go for you, not just in your singing, but like in general, when you are conditioning that muscle of staying present.
Yes. So staying present with the meditations, the thought exercises I loved, because I love to journal. That's how I like to process my emotions and my thoughts. And the one-on-one mindset calls with Judy. And I will say, so I had a pause during the intensive because I had emergency brain surgery. When I
tell you that Jessica is one of the most committed and resilient singers I have ever met. In the middle, like the end of her second month, beginning of her third month in the program, she had a brain surgery. Like, and 2 months later, she was like, maybe 3 months later, you were back. Like, but you guys, this is what happens when you have a really powerful why. And we didn't talked about this too much, but Justin, would you mind kind of sharing your why that's kind of gotten you through even the awful trauma of like the woman, that could have just said, somebody could have been like, you know what, peace out. I'm going to just go get a normal job. But somebody could have said brain surgery, peace out. I need to just like, and instead you were like, no, I have a role to prepare for this summer,
Yeah. So like I said, I had brain surgery, at the beginning of my third month. So I had to pause, and that obviously just threw a wrench in my plans and the work that I was putting in to my connection of my mind and body and voice. And Judy made herself available to me to have a mindset call, even though it wasn't scheduled because my therapist ghosted me. Another issue. And she really just walked me through, like, be gentle with yourself, have grace. You have to take care of yourself and your health right now. Singing can wait. Singing is not going anywhere. And you just have to take care of yourself. Everything else can wait. And that really, really helped me because I had gotten so eager because I was singing every day. I was like, I want to sing, I want to sing, I want to sing. And then the second that I can't, then a negative narrative started to play, like, oh, if I can't sing every day, then I'm unworthy, I'm incapable, all of that negative narrative. But she really helped me stay the course and just be kind to myself while I was paused. And then when I came back, I knew that the skills that I had cultivated were right there waiting for me. And it was like I hadn't stopped. And the day that I talked to you guys in the last workshop, I booked an audition. That audition was for The Wizard of Oz. And I had that audition in January, and I landed the role of Glinda.
So you guys, like, when I tell you this stuff works, I am not lying. When you learn how to train holistically, that's how we go from exceptional talent to exceptional success. Okay. Like, because now everything is working together: mind, body, skill set, heart set, technique. And that's when we can, like, break through the competition. And, like, I mean, Jess, I think you've landed more roles in the last 6 months than you had in like 6 years prior. Is that an exaggeration?
Yes. Yeah. And my why is really what I attribute to landing those roles. So landing the role of Beth in Italy while I was still in the intensive, and then landing Glinda. Just my why is, why do I want to sing? I want to share my voice. I want to encourage others to keep going, because I'm glad that my story has been inspiring, because it was hard and I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but now I do. And I want to encourage people to keep going. And that's what keeps me singing, is sharing my passion and encouraging others and forging my own path. And another aspect of my journey in the intensive, I had an audition for my number one dream role, which was Emma in Jekyll and Hyde, 3 weeks after my brain surgery. And unfortunately, I didn't book it, but now I know why. It's because of my surgery, my mind and body and voice connection were disrupted. So it wasn't going to happen. I felt great about my audition the day of, but the second I got in the room, just everything went out the window. So I had to be very compassionate to myself and knowing, like, this is not for me, but something else is. And then keeping in mind my why, just keep going and encouraging others, I have decided to produce the show myself.
Sky's the limit, guys.
And then another big win that I had, well, there was two. I had a lesson with my primary teacher, and I caught the negative narrative start to play in my head, and I voiced it to her, and we addressed it together, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable and make mistakes so we could address that issue, which in the past I would just let it play instead of addressing it with my teacher. And then I'm a teacher myself, so I teach at a children's theater. And I encouraged my youngest student, she's 9, to approach singing because she was afraid of making mistakes. Already at 9. I encouraged her.
This is old, guys. This stuff is old. It goes way the heck back.
Yeah. And she wouldn't take the time to let herself breathe. And so I encouraged her to look in the mirror and tell herself this positive affirmation: I am worthy of taking up time and space.
Yeah, I wonder where you learned that.
Where did I learn that?
Do you guys, we were talking about global beliefs yesterday, and what was the last one, right? Which is, I get to take up time and space. This is my stage. This is my house. This is my, that's amazing, Jess, that she gets that at 9 years old now. That's amazing. So I wonder, because as you said, like, we had an initial call 5 years ago, and it took 4.5 years for you to really decide that you were worthy, that you were ready to pull the trigger. Because in truth, you could have come in and done the program 5 years ago, but I was sensing that there was, it wasn't that your technique wasn't ready. It was that I mean, you believed that. You believed that 120%. And so no amount of anything that I was going to say was going to get Jess to believe that she could have done it then. She could have. But she came in when she came in, when the time was right for her. But I'm wondering if there's people who are in the workshop right now who are watching, who are like, well, maybe I'm not ready, or maybe I need to get ready, or maybe I need to, I don't know, XYZ, like, wow, I want to be in this tribe, but I'm a little scared of maybe working online or maybe the investment. What would you say, having waited yourself?
I would I would advise everybody to be intentional in assessing your own strengths and weaknesses. What do you do well, and what is it do you think you need help with? And is that something that you think Arden could help with? The answer is yes, but unless you know specifically what it is you need, then you're not going to be as motivated to do the program. So I knew exactly what I needed. I knew that I needed help with my mindset because that nasty woman's criticism was still playing in my head, like years of therapy and vocal coaching later, it was still bothering me. And
And by
so,
the way, like, how was it affecting your technique? How was it affecting your voice? If you
well,
don't
one,
mind.
like I said, I felt paralyzed because when I would tell myself those things, I wouldn't even open my mouth to sing. When I did, I would try to control my sound because I thought I had to sound a certain way to appease her, even though she wasn't even in the room. She was just in my head.
Mhm. But that's such a common experience. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very common experience. We think there's a certain way we have to sound. We think there's a certain way a certain way maybe we have to look or we have to be or we have to whatever. But specifically, there's a certain way that we have to sound to be successful. And so then to speak to what Jess was doing, that I think a lot of singers do is they twist themselves all up into pretzels to try to control that to get that sound. And it actually takes singers farther and farther away from the sound that is the free sound, the most powerful sound, because all that over control stops you from doing what we have been talking a lot about the first few days of the workshop, which is that idea of that opposition. It doesn't go that way, it goes this way. And that idea of consistency, that takes trust instead of trying to micromanage every pitch and every note. And so yeah, that's the place that I remember you being in when you came in. It's so very different from where you are right now. So thank you so much, Jess, for coming in and sharing. Anything else you want to add?
Book a discovery call. You won't regret it.
You guys, she's not being paid to say this. She is not, this is like, but yes, get on my calendar, you guys. Even if you're not sure if it's like right for you, Ash you can put the link in the chat right now, just since we brought it up.
There's no obligation. She'll help you figure it out. Like if it's a money issue or just not knowing what to expect, or just talk to her. It's just a chat, just to help you figure out what it is you need and how she can help you. That's all it is.
Yeah, and in truth, like what Jess said, is when we did have our call 5 years ago, I could tell she wasn't in the place where this was going to be the most aligned. And I said, yes, we can help you, and not right now. So you guys, I'm not like after trying, like I want what's right for you. And so on a call, we can talk it out and see what's right for you. And if it is, like, I will help you figure it out, whether it's getting creative for the investment, whether it's getting creative with your time. And if it's not for you, that's okay. Like, we'll part friends. It's not a big deal. And you can come to as many free workshops as you want. All right, Jess, thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend. You guys give a hand to Jess in the chat for being such an amazing inspiration. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
And so if you guys are listening to Jess and you're thinking, that's what I want. That's really what I want, to be able to step into my belief, my confidence, trust my voice, find my most powerful sound, to be able to stand in any audition and like know how to get my body to work together so that you can book more than not. Look, are you going to get everything? No. But when you know how to do what she's talking about, when you have learned how to stand in full ownership of your voice and tap into that is what is unique about you, you will book more than you don't. And that's the point, right? And so if you want to work with us in the intensive program to do that, then your next step is to do exactly what she said, which is just book a discovery call with me, and we'll see if this is a fit for you. And if you really know, you can just take care of your enrollment online right now. You can go to the link, Ash, you can put the link in the chat to our website, where you can just literally put in, pick which payment plan works for you. And the next thing that happens is you'll be taken to a booking page to have a call with me, just to make sure that we can pick your start date and all of that. And then boom, you're in like Flynn. You could literally be in class with us next week if you wanted. But I just want to celebrate each and every one of you who has shown up every day for this workshop, who have made your singing a priority, your transformation a priority, when it's so easy to let life and other things get in the way. As you know, we have a scholarship opportunity. So if you've been with us every day for the workshop so far, you haven't missed a single day, then you're eligible to throw your hat in the ring for a scholarship for the intensive training program. Tonight is when we're going to do the scholarship. So this is a $4,000 scholarship for the training program, which brings the tuition down from $7K to $3K. So it's a huge scholarship. So if you want to be considered for the scholarship, I'm going to explain a few things for how you submit tonight. One really important caveat here, okay? Because it is taking care of $4,000 of your tuition, you are still responsible for $3K of it. So whether that means slapping it on different credit cards, coming up with a payment plan with me, doing third-party financing, whatever. So if you're not somebody who, let's say, God forbid, like you had to declare bankruptcy and you can't get credit and you can't access funding, and then maybe now's not the time to submit for the scholarship. So I just want to put that out there. As long as you guys are willing to get resourceful for the part that's yours, throw your hat into the ring for this, okay? So if you want to be considered, you have to do two simple things tonight, okay? Ashley's going to put a link into the chat that you're going to use to submit. So Ash, put the scholarship submission link now. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this link and you'll read the directions. And there's two things that you need to do. First is you need to record a short little selfie video of you speaking to the following things: what doing the intensive program means to you, and why you should be the one to receive the opportunity for this scholarship. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just like make a selfie on your phone and send, and then you can upload it onto the form. Or you can upload it into like a shared drive, like a Google Drive, and share the link. If you're going to upload it via a shared drive, make sure that you share it with our admin email. Ash, will you put the admin email in the chat? Make sure that you share it with the admin email, or you just make it public, like make it so anyone who has the link can watch it. So that's the first thing that we need. The second thing that we also need you to include is at least one link to yourself performing or to your online recordings. So links where we can hear you or see you. So if you have a YouTube channel and there's links to videos of you performing where we can see you, hear you, you need to just include one link. Or if you have released record and you want to link to Spotify, you can do that. Okay, so to be considered, you must submit the form with those two things: your selfie video and at least one link to you performing. And you must submit it by 9 p.m. Pacific tonight, midnight East Coast tonight. Okay. And then be here live tomorrow, because I will announce the winner at the end of our session tomorrow. So again, you'll only be considered if you've been to every session this week, and we can see, we know who's been here. We have the Zoom registration, so don't think you can try to fudge the system. So you'll only be considered if you've been to every session this week and you filled out and submitted the scholarship form that we just put the link into the chat, okay? And copy that, guys, because that link to the scholarship submission form is not being sent out in any emails. It's not going out publicly. It is only being given to you guys here right now because you're here. This is not an opportunity that's open publicly in any way. So if you're interested in submitting, copy the link from the chat and paste it somewhere where you will have it. Okay, let's see. Did I forget anything about the scholarship? I don't think so. Again, this is for our flagship 4-month intensive program, that the program that Jess did, the program that Colleen, that you've heard us talk about. It's 360, it's holistic, it's technique, mindset, artistry, and we do that with technique accelerator trainings. So you have full command, full technical mastery in the most consistent, reliable, healthy way of your technique. We do mind-body integration modules to deep dive into your unique patterns of thinking and shift how this is all affecting your body and impacting you when you sing. We do it through individual weekly coaching to make sure that you're embodying your new skill set, your mindset, your artistry in the most effective way. And so we coach individually in the context of the group, just like we've been doing here. We do weekly group mindset call, which is topic focused coaching that's focused on like really supporting the mindset that's necessary for vocal growth and success on this journey. One-on-one accountability mentoring with your mindset coach. You'll meet Judy, who's our mindset coach, who Jess was talking about now. She's coming in tomorrow to do some laser coaching with you guys here, so you'll meet her then. But she works with all the singers in our intensive program to really help you break the boundaries that have previously stopped you so that you can actualize the results that you really want. And then it's our community, which is a community and a safe space for singers to really go beyond their comfort zone and learn, take action, have a compassionate group of fellows who are all on the same journey that you are. It's almost like a little artistic incubator. And it's one of the things that I take the most pride in our community is the connections that are made. In fact, we do a yearly retreat. And that's actually for our singers who have been in the program over the last year. That's coming up a week from today. We will be in 4 days in this awesome, huge retreat house in the middle of the woods doing process to performance retreats. So we do all kinds of things like in our tribe for our singers, because I get it, you guys, it can feel really isolating. Especially if you're a solo artist, if you're also an auditioning performer, opera singer, musical theater singer, where it can feel like you're just trying to scale this giant mountain by yourself. And it can feel really isolating. You're this island out there all on your own. And so this community is really important to those singers who are in it, and we hold that value. And so the program is for you if you are needing to get better results despite all your efforts. Like despite all your training, despite all the hustle, you're still not where you want to be in your singing career. You're dying to sing in a way that is more sustainable, more reliable, more consistent, more powerful, where your body's working for you, not against you. And if you've invested a lot of training in the past and it hasn't gotten you the results or the opportunities that you really want, like Jess was talking about, she had invested in so much training, but there was something missing. And this is what traditional training doesn't teach, guys. I will be shouting from the rooftops until the day I die that there is a better way to train. When we train 360, we get results much faster. And that's why we can get results in 4 months. Guys, 4 months to completely shift the reality of your sound, the opportunities you can land, the career, the money that you're making. You know, those of you who are Broadway people, I believe equity scale right now is 7 or 8K a week. Okay. So if you're not landing those auditions, you are losing 8K a week. You are losing 24K a month, leaving it on the table, right? But that's not the worst part. The worst part is that you feel like a failure. And that will show up in every audition that you then go in to prove you're good enough. Exactly what Yuson was coaching on today. And so if you dream of getting consistently better results from your recordings, auditions, performances, like no more putting all this time and effort and money and not seeing those high-level opportunities that you want in your career, and you want to sing freely, authentically, without tension, strain, without vocal fatigue, in a way that doesn't just sound good, but feels good and is sustainable long-term. You guys, the best sound is always the sound that feels the best. And you guys, it's one of my favorite moments when a new singer comes in and was working with us and we're in studio class and they have that moment the first time. This is the moment that Hannah experienced on Tuesday. That moment where all of a sudden it's like, whoa, and it feels so good and it feels easy and it's so much more powerful than what happened when you were trying and working so hard. Like, you guys, that is my favorite moment ever. When you recognize and you get that experience that the best sound is also the one that feels the best. And so if you really want to find your sound, tap into that special sauce like we were talking about today, what you have that nobody else does, your special sauce that sets you apart from other artists. And more than anything, if you want to know that anytime you open your mouth, not only can you trust your voice, trust your technique, and trust your body, but you know you can trust it to make the biggest possible impact, no matter what, then, oh my God, you guys, get on my calendar and let's talk. We only have 2 days left of these bonuses. The biggest bonus is that I'm knocking $2,000 off the tuition. So if you want to come into the program, you guys, you can at any time. We are not going anywhere, but our usual tuition is $9K. So $2,000 off your normal tuition to everyone who enrolls by Sunday night, or $1,897 a month, 4 payments of $1,897, or only $7K for those of you who want to come in, and it doesn't mean you have to start this Monday, but it means that we're going to take care of your tuition. You're going to pick your start date and we're going to figure it out. Okay. Second bonus is an audition self-tape critique of one song, being able to make sure that we're putting your best foot forward for that. Third bonus is a full audit of your artist website or your EPK or your landing page, making sure that the way that the things that you have on there are the things that are representing you in the best possible light, that you're not leaving things out or have things that maybe you don't need, and be able to, pitch for gigs, book gigs, and get things, because this is a great representation of you. And the last bonus is for the first 3 singers who choose our pay in full option, which is the one payment of $7K. It's the most discounted option. 2 one-on-one lessons with me throughout the course of your intensive, additional to everything else that we're doing. So guys, these bonuses, they go away on Sunday at midnight. So you either need to take care of your enrollment by then or get on my calendar by then if you want to talk it out. As long as you've booked a call by Sunday night, it doesn't mean that you have to have had the call by Sunday, but as long as you've booked it by Sunday night and you decide you want to come in and work with us, then you will get the bonuses. So yeah, guys, like, even if you're on the fence, if you really want to, you have questions about payment plan, you want to make sure it's the right fit, you have schedule questions, get on my calendar. Let's talk. Let's talk about your specific goals. I want to answer your specific questions so that you don't miss the bonuses, the tuition discount, if we decide that it is a fit for you to enroll. Okay. So let's make sure that if you want to put your hat in the ring for the scholarship, you submit by midnight Eastern tonight. What did I say? 9 p.m. East Coast time. Those of you who've been in here every day, oh my God, Yusan, you need to be on my calendar. Julia, you need to be on my calendar. I'm seeing so many of you who've been so active. Stacy, get on my calendar. I know we've talked before. Let's get this thing in the bag. And no, you've been here for so many. Who else am I seeing? Vivian, Robin, who else? Tatiana, I see you're already on my calendar. You guys, this is not an opportunity to like do anything other than understand the things that are stopping you from having what you want, and make sure that this is a fit for us to help you get there. Cool? So get on my calendar. Don't miss the opportunity. Don't miss the bonuses. Now, a word about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be big because tomorrow we're going to go deep. We're going to do some deep critical work. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the biggest hurdle for pro singers and how to get over it. So stay on your meditations, stay on your practice, stay accountable. Know that we love you. We are here for you. We want you to succeed. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Actually, you know what? I see, because I'm just looking at the time, and I know we're basically at the half hour, so we're basically at time. But I just got a text that, so you guys, my daughter has been on a big 6th grade outdoor It's like their big rite of passage outdoor trip that they do, sixth grade does. And I just got a text telling me that the bus is running late. So I do not have to hop off right away, which means I can do a little Q&A. So does anybody have some Q&A? We can spend maybe another 15 minutes. Questions about anything that we were doing today with the emotional home stuff and the making a song your own, or anything that we've gone over the last couple days. Let's open it up for a little bit of Q&A. And by the way, guys, I know we're going over time, so if you have to leave, you can watch in the replay. You can use the raise hand function. Anybody have any questions that they wanna ask? I'm open. Yeah, Hannah. Go ahead and unmute. Hi. I just unmuted.
Sorry, you can now.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I don't know if this is the time to ask this question, but when I've been using the techniques that we've been talking about, I find like I am like building so much power in my sound, which is amazing. It's so much easier.
I know.
And then when I and then when I get to like a note that I want to sing quietly with power, like especially like a high note, I'm like, wait, I can sing it really loudly, but how do I get it? Like, I know it's like the resistance, but
yeah, that's a great question. So it takes more support to sing mezzo piano, piano, pianissimo, triple P than it does to sing mezzo forte, forte. So if I was, let's say, going to do like a big, decrescendo, I'm going to start loud. I'm engaging my lean at like a level of like maybe a 5 or a 6, because you notice how much more efficient it is. You can get way more power doing way less, right? But if I want to draw that into just like the beautiful little filament of triple pianissimo, right? I'm going to increase my support. So I don't actually want you to worry about triple P right now, okay? Because this is so new that you're still conditioning the consistency of what it feels like to just do it at the level you're doing it. And so when you're being really efficient and really on your opposition, you're pretty loud right now, that's okay. Don't worry about it, okay? What I want you to experiment with, excuse me, instead of telling yourself, okay, I need to do this softer or quieter, okay? Instead, start to experiment with what I call like the room full of people, okay? So right now with what you're singing, the room full of people is probably, 50 people deep, and they're all gonna hear because you're being super efficient using your power, okay? But how could you use your support? So again, you guys, we talk about more powerful questions, right? Her question is, how can I get quieter? How can I sing quieter? And my guess is what that makes her do is try to hold all of this, which does not feel comfortable, and it does not achieve the outcome that we want, because she's thinking limit, right? Because quiet is a limit. We're limiting. And so she's going to do that in her body. Instead, don't worry about loud, soft, quiet. We're not going to worry about how can I get quiet. We're going to ask a better question, which is, how would I sing this if it wasn't a room of 50 people, but it was a room of 15 people? So do you want to try that? Do you want to try something?
sure. The note that I like, oh man, I struggle with so much is in No One Else from Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet.
So let's back up maybe a couple of like phrases. Let's not start right on the note. So start a little before it. Let's get into it a little bit. And we're not going to focus on that note, because you guys, if she focuses on that note, she's not going to be in the present moment of the phrases that come before it. And so she's already going to be in her worry or her confusion, which means that leading up to it, she's already going to be contracting, controlling, because she's not in the moment with those phrases. She's already on the higher pitch. And now she's been singing in that controlled way and setting that up. Before she even got there, she's dead in the water before she even got there, okay? So I'm not really concerned about that note. What I want you to do is let's do 4 or 5, phrases leading up to it. with how would I sing this if the room was 15 people?
Okay.
So I don't care whether we get to the high note or not right now. Okay, try it.
Okay. Okay. So the part before that note is like louder. Do you want me to do the whole thing as if I'm
Just as
singing?
an experiment, do the whole
Okay.
thing as the 15 people.
Okay. I feel like putting my arms round my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Okay, pause. That's
Okay.
literally what your body is doing right now. Okay, so again, I don't want you to worry about loud, soft. I want you to find like speech level head voice. So can you find, I mean, hello, you do princess parties. That's probably, you talk like that probably a lot if you're doing like Snow White or whoever, right? So can you just talk the lyrics? Don't sing the melody, just talk the lyrics in that register.
I feel like putting my arms round my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Good. Let's do it again. And I want you to increase your vertical space. I.
Sing it this time.
No, just
talk it.
I with more vertical space.
I feel like putting my arms around my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Good. Now let's keep that idea of the vertical space and do it with long vowels and squeezing as tight as possible. Okay, long vowels.
I feel like putting my arms around my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Good. Now let's find what you might experience as kind of like a monotone robotic where there's really no fluctuation at all. I feel I'm putting my arms around my knees, like as monotone as possible. Long vowel.
I feel like putting my arms around my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Good. Okay. That was more consistent support. What was happening was the fluctuation in just accenting the pitches that you were talking was causing you to add some support when you go up and then recede when you go back. This forced you to stay in one place, okay? Now, you're doing a good job of more vertical space. You're doing a good job of more consistent lean. But now what we want is we need depth, okay? So I don't think I gave this analogy before, but maybe I did. But you guys know like a ballroom where if you're going to have a small wedding, there's the divider. And if you're going to have a big wedding, you can open the divider and now there's like a big ballroom. Okay. You have a very small ballroom right now. So you have height and you have width, but it's all right here. I can make my voice sound like that too. But right. So instead, I want you to like pull like crazy on that smell the brownies space. Yeah. Hi.
I.
Right. So it goes like,
I.
Good. What does that feel like to you? Is there like a shape, an image, a sensation?
It does feel more like the fish hooks kind of going back like in a bow.
Okay, good. So like that's what we want. It's almost like if you had a handlebar mustache, you were like taking the mustache and you were tying it up about back here. Your mustache like ended here before. Okay.
Okay.
So now I want you to chant the line in the same way you did with long vowels, but bring in your bow. Okay.
I feel like putting my arms around my.
Hold on. We got I feel. I feel
like putting my arms around my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Yes, now we're getting more what we call equidistant space, vertical space, horizontal space, like a plus sign, and the depth that plus sign goes all the way back. Okay. Now, do it on the melody, but don't change your bow and your plus sign.
Okay.
You're still doing long vowels. You're right now what you just did is singing. It's no different. You're just on the tone, right? So now just be on the melody with it.
I feel like putting my arms around my knees and squeezing as tight as possible.
Keep going.
And flying away.
Okay, good. good. That's fantastic. Now add a little more of this. Support.
And flying
Okay. Yeah.
away.
Yes, but you waited until the high note to do it. We need to be and on the add. Yes.
And flying.
Pause. That was it.
Okay.
So get into that feeling of that expansion. Everything is moving away before you phonate, before the and. Set it, start to move through your sail and your anchor before you phonate.
And
Okay, hold
flying.
on, hold on. It's getting low. It's hard, I know, because you're focusing here and this wants to go down. I
And
get it.
here. Okay. And flying.
It's in your throat now. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Place it up here, but support down here.
Right. Your job is to move everything away from here. Oh,
Okay.
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 And let that be chest voice. That can be chest voice. But your opposition doesn't change whether you're in chest voice or head voice. Chest, head, and fall.
And flying away.
Yes. Okay. If we work it there, then when you get to the part that's hard, it's going to be easy because you've been setting yourself up the whole time. But this stuff is not integrated enough yet as muscle memory because it's new.
Yeah.
It takes time in the saddle, which is why I don't really care about that note and I don't really want to work that note because you're not ready for that yet. You need to condition this first, and then that will become easy. And so then once you get this feeling that's new, that once it becomes consistent, then you'll understand the sensation of increasing that to be so soft. I'm doing that because I'm doing more of this. But right now, you're just still figuring out where that is. So don't worry about that. You'll get there. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question, you guys. All right, I think I got time for one more if it's quick. Let's have a lightning round from Alicia. Lightning question. Go ahead, and there you are, Alicia. Hi. Go ahead. Oh, so wait, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. That's odd. Okay, you know what then? Go, like, you can write down the question, save the question, and bring it to the Q&A session, the implementation session on Sunday, because we're not hearing you. Okay. All right, guys. Great class today. Go write down your distinctions, your ahas, the things you want to remember. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Do not miss it. We're going to dive deep on the biggest hurdle that pro singers face and how to get over it. All right, guys. See you then. Good work today. Bye. Get on my calendar, you guys. Bye.